The Dressmaker is a really peculiar film, and that is both a compliment and a criticism. I saw this movie at this year's Seattle International Film Festival, and it was the closing night movie, and I'm still not sure how I feel about this thing. So the story takes place in 1951 in a small town in Australia. It's about a woman named Tilly, played by Kate Winslet. She was kicked out of the town as a child after going through some terrible incident, and now 25 years later she returns to her hometown to set the record straight, as well as making some gorgeous dresses and changing the way these townspeople dress. Well, at least that's what the trailer makes it look like. Now, in case you couldn't tell by the tone of my voice, I have very mixed feelings about The Dressmaker. It's a very divisive film. But as usual, let's start with the positives, because there is definitely some good things in here. First of all, this movie has a really good cast, and the performances are pretty damn solid. Kate Winslet is great as always, and she is pretty much the reason why I decided to see this film in the first place. Seriously, I wouldn't have thought about checking this out if she was not in it. And although I do think she deserves a far better material, she is definitely one of the better aspects of this film. I also liked some of the supporting characters. Liam Hemsworth is kind of likable as Tilly's love interest. Usually I'm not a huge fan of this particular Hemsworth, but I kinda liked him in this film. And yes, he does take his shirt off in more than a few scenes, so if you want to see his sexy body, go see this film. And then there is Hugo Weaving playing a cross-dressing police officer, and although his performance gets a little too over the top and borderline offensive at times, it's fun to see Agent Smith camping it up, and I thought he was pretty good too. Second of all, this is a very well-made film. It's well-directed, beautiful to look at, and it has some really terrific costume design. And now let's get into my problems with the film, and this film is all over the place. And this is not just all over the place, it's deliberately all over the place. The tone is wildly inconsistent. It goes from funny to sad to fun to what the fuck. We go through all these different emotions within like 10 seconds, and it's kind of exhausting. I mean, it literally starts off as a western with, you know, western music playing and everything, and then it becomes a soap opera, and then it's a slapstick comedy, and now it's a melodrama, and then a murder mystery, and then a black comedy. Oh wait, now it's a dark revenge thriller. And I was like, I'm sorry, but where did that come from? Which movie am I watching? And that might not be an issue for you, and I hope that's really the case, because a lot of people in my theater seem to be really enjoying themselves. But I also didn't like how thinly written most of the supporting characters were. Aside from the Hemsworth and Agent Smith and a couple more people, pretty much everybody else isn't properly fleshed out at all, and they just felt like caricatures. And then there are some moments of tragedy that I'm not quite sure how to deal with. That trailer really doesn't capture the tone of this film. It makes it look like a fun period piece, but it really isn't. I think this is a film you either go with it or not. Personally, it's not something you have to see in theaters, but if you really want to check it out, I won't stop you. But if you're kind of on the fence about it, I think you should wait and stream it on Netflix or Amazon Prime. Save some money and spend it on something else. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more movie reviews like the one you just saw. Love and peace, everybody.